Now, the West Sussex countryside has been transformed into a sea of yellow as the annual Sunflower Festival kicks off there.
Yeah, visitors hoping to get the perfect picture for their Instagrams have been heading to a farm near Crawley, along with our reporter Chrissy Reedy.
Dancing in the breeze as they reach up to the sun. With the Sunflower Festival in full swing, these lovely ladies are getting ready for their big moment.
We've actually planted them in batches, so they've been planted at different times, which means that there's different blooming times. So it means that we can have flowers out in bloom at all times when people are coming through. So we've started today, this is our first day, and then we're going to finish on the 1st of September.
Planting began back in May for this year's festival at Tully's farm near Crawley. There are 30 varieties of sunflower here on this farm, over 12 acres, and this one has got to be my favourite. It's the Moulin Rouge, and she's absolutely stunning. A kaleidoscope of colour, symbolising warmth and happiness.
They remind us of our holidays in France where there's lots of sunflower fields, so it's nice to be back enjoying them.
Savour every moment.
Yes.
One of them was this much taller than me, twice my height.
Wow, that's enormous!
And some of them are different colours.
What's it like being here in the fields with all the sunflowers? How does it make you feel?
Feels therapeutic, actually. Nice time out of work, so just enjoying the sunshine and the garden.
It's lovely. It's just so lovely to be outside in the nice weather, and it's just got a lovely relaxed atmosphere.
And of course, these days it's all about getting your photos on Instagram. Fields of fabulous flowers with an air of positivity. You might say just what we need right now. Chrissy Reedy, BBC News.
Beautiful.
We're getting out and about a lot this morning, aren't we?
Yes.
Getting the summer vibes, because we're talking now about favourite holiday destinations. Sussex looked lovely there. Lots of us like to go back to the same place year after year, but what about doing the same summer holiday every year for 57 years?
Potentially with the same seagulls in the background.
And the same people.
The same people, yeah. That is the reality for a couple from Preston who have been visiting Bude in Cornwall since 1967, and they have no plans to stop. Our reporter Andrea Ormsby has been to meet them.
I'll get the chairs out.
Back in Bude.
Oh, yes, it took a bit of pulling today.
Colin and Doreen Hunt from Preston in Lancashire have had a year or two to perfect their summer holiday routine here.
And another.
And the other one.
Deck chairs out, beach hut closed.
All right, there we are.
Time to relax.
Oh,
that's better. That's better. Look at that surf.
yes.
These two former teachers are real characters. She's 88 and he's 87.
He will be 88 in 4 weeks.
I'm a toy boy for 3 months of the year.
No.
So where did the whole Bude thing begin?
We first came in 1967 and our son was 11 months old. In fact, he learned to walk here, and our daughter was almost 3, and we've been coming every year since. Nothing has stopped us, even during COVID. We came down every year during then.
Bude is where they learnt to surf.
It was all on the old wooden belly boards then. We didn't call it surfing, not like they do now, have to stand up.
And it's where they started walking the southwest coast path in sections, finishing the whole thing in 2000. So has there ever been a time they were tempted to bin Bude?
No,
No.
no.
No, no.
We always had at least a week in Bude, wherever else we went. We have walked over the world, but there's nowhere more beautiful than the southwest coast path. We've never been to a better place for a family holiday. There's so much to do, not just the sea. We've been to very pretty, picturesque villages, but Bude, I think, has everything. It's got the scenery, it's got the sea, and it's got a lot of other activities.
I think it's fair to say they quite like the place.
I mean, there's so many happy memories connected with Bude. and especially being with the family, because I think we have a close family, you know, and it's lovely being down with the children and then with the grandchildren. And we're so pleased that the grandchildren enjoy it as much as we did. It's just beautiful. We look forward to it every year. We should be coming as long as we can make it.
Oh, that's nice.
If they get to 60 summer holidays here, they say they'll have a big party. But with these two, I think we should start planning now for the 70th celebrations. Andrea Ormsby, BBC News.
Aren't they amazing?
Love that, haven't we,
Yes.
this morning? Lots of you getting in touch. We'll read out some of your comments in a moment. But right now, we're joined by travel blogger Monica Stott, who joins us from her own favourite holiday haunt in Wales. Good morning to you. Tell us about why you go there.
Good morning. Yeah, so I'm in Abersoch right now, and I come here every summer just because it's perfect. And I feel like, why would you try going somewhere new when this is so perfect?
And what is it, do you think? Is it because it saves us brain space, I suppose, when we get somewhere and you don't have to look around and find your way around and think, where am I going to park my car? Where's a little supermarket? That sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's so much fun to be had in that kind of holiday where it's all new and you go and explore and you find new restaurants and you find new places to go. But there's also something lovely about returning to the same place and you know exactly what to do. And it's the whole thing of when you go on a 2-week holiday, you find the first week finding your feet, and then the second week you actually have fun. But when you're going back to the same place, the second week, you're just straight into it. You're having fun straight away. No stress, no worry. You avoid all the bad restaurants. You know all the good places. And like you say, it's little things like knowing where to park and where to go to the supermarket, things like that.
I mean, Abersoch, where you are, is lovely. Bude, where we just saw the hunts go, is fantastic. But I would have thought as a travel journalist, a travel blogger, you'd get a bit bored staying in the same place.
Well, I go to lots of other places as well. And to be honest, because it's my job, it's so lovely to come back to the same place and not work. I find it really difficult, even if I'm going on holiday with my kids and it's meant to just be a holiday, it turns into work. So for me, it's lovely. And I think it's probably the same for anyone else who works a lot to then have a really, really relaxing holiday. So, yeah, that's why I love it.
Are you really expecting us to sympathise with somebody who's travelling around the world every 5 minutes? Our hearts bleed, not.
Do you know what?
No
though?
sympathy.
We've had some great comments in this morning. I love this from Dave and his wife. They've said they've been going to Bournemouth for I think, I haven't got my glasses on, I think it says 60 years.
Just over 60 years,
60 years, always on their birthdays, always to the same beach hut. Now they take their children and their grandchildren. And there is something, isn't there, about that continuity of passing the memories on.
Yeah, absolutely. And seeing those family photos as well from 60 years ago, and then the kids growing up and then the grandchildren growing up. Yeah, it's lovely.
Do you know what? We can beat that.
Go on.
Because Peter and Linda Barwick have been in touch. They go to Robin Hood's Bay in North Yorkshire every year. They've been doing that every year for 75 years.
Wow.
4 generations of their family it's spun. But, I mean, that's the thing. It's making memories together, isn't it, Monica?
Yeah, absolutely. And being able to do that together. And I think in some ways it makes it easier to get the whole family doing it when everybody knows what's happening.
It's interesting, isn't it, that all the people, not all of them, but an awful lot of the ones who are getting in touch this morning with us, having seen the piece, are talking about holidays at home here in the UK, those sort of family traditions. It's obviously a really British thing, people proud of going to our own resorts, our own seaside places.
Yeah, and I also think it's easier. It's much easier to keep returning to the same place if it's not too far from home. But when you've got all things like flights to consider, that's when that routine gets disrupted and you stop going to the same place.
And Monica, when you look around like UK seaside or holiday resorts, are there any places that you look at the moment and you think are really booming or perhaps up and coming, going to become even more popular?
I think the Clwm Peninsula in Wales is one of those places. People say to me a lot, this is like how Cornwall and Newquay, that kind of area was 30 years ago. It's still quite untouched, and I'm not even sure if I should be saying this because the locals don't like it. But it feels very much like that. There's certain areas that are completely, untouched. You go to beaches and there's just miles of golden sand and there's no one on it. And you think, how does no one know about this place? So, yeah, I'd say the Clwm Peninsula.
Deborah agrees. She says she's only been on 3 holidays in her life. Why would I want to go anywhere else when I live already in magnificent Pembrokeshire? The coast, the national park, we've got it all. Scenery, beaches, delicious food, history, sometimes even the weather. So, yeah, for some people, just staying put is a holiday.
Yeah, exactly. And you're lucky to live somewhere like that.
It's so lovely to hear these stories, Monica. Do you think maybe this could be something that will continue? Maybe we'll be able to build this trend of staycations. I know lots of people over the last few years haven't been travelling abroad so much. Do you think more and more people are staying at home?
I think it's a mixture, but I think it'll continue with the trend of lots of families having one holiday at home, one staycation and one trip abroad. One thing about staycations is it's often expensive and it's often actually almost cheaper to go abroad. And when you're guaranteed the weather abroad, it can be hard to get on board with the whole staycation. But I think most people do take a little trip at home and a little trip abroad if they can.
Monica, thank you for joining us. Having a lovely holiday. Well, you know you're going to have a lovely holiday because you always do. Thank you very much indeed.